What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to DG Footy. Make sure to go ahead and check out the socials at _diagrams on Twitter. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. Sorry if there's any background noise. It's like 100 degrees out here and it's hot as a mother. So I got a couple fans going on. So we're just going to have to go ahead and put up with that today, unfortunately. Let's go ahead and get into some news real quick. Starting with Donny van de Beek breaking the silence over his future amid Manchester United transfer interest. Basically, Donny van de Beek has been waiting for either Real Madrid or Manchester United to go ahead and come in for him. So obviously, I never really was thinking that Manchester United would be going in for him. But that being said, it does look like neither Manchester United nor... that's not correct English. Neither Manchester United or Real Madrid will be going in for him this summer as of now. That might change if Manchester United really end up wanting to go for a central midfielder and Jack Grealish is price is not lowered because Aston Villa stayed in the league. So yeah, let's go ahead and see. I'm sure there's better stuff than whatever's on Manchester United Evening News' page. Of course, Juventus's new manager Andre Pirlo wants Paul Pogba. That's obvious. Oh, this was pretty good. Bayern slapped the SHIT out of Barcelona 8-2. If you didn't see that, make sure you go ahead and watch it. For us here in the States, it is on CBS All Access, which you can subscribe to for like $10 a month or something like that. I would highly recommend going and watching that, or just go look up the highlights on YouTube. It was a good game indeed. Everything's going to be dominated by Bayern today, just because that was such a massive thing. And while Pirlo was being promoted to the full team, full-time coach from the under-23s, whoever... CK Setien, I believe, at Barcelona, was fired pretty sure before the end of the game. Because, yeah, that was terrible, and he's had a terrible year, and Barcelona needed full restructuring. I'm not sure. I'm sure that firing the coach will help and is necessary, but I'm not sure whether or not it's actually what they need to do, because they definitely need to do more than that. So if they think they're going to just fire him and not get rid of their president and not restructure the club, it's coming. So, all right, guys, let's go ahead and move into some other news. Jan Agafjotov. Sorry about that if you're German or Norwegian or anywhere from Scandinavia in that surrounding area. Anyways, had some words. He's been coming out with a lot of stuff. He is reliable. He has a lot of connections inside Germany. And I believe England, but mostly he's covering Germany at this point. And he had some stuff about the Jadon Sancho thing. It was a lot more. So apparently Jadon Sancho missed a training session today, which of course would kind of signify, or could signify, even though I don't think it does, that Jadon Sancho could be possibly not training. Either the club doesn't want him to train because he's moving, or he's going on strike. Neither of those are true, I don't think. And Jan, Mr. Fjortoft, who you should follow, by the way, on Twitter, because he does have a lot of good stuff, does come out with a lot of good stuff. So he says, Sancho did not train this afternoon, and before the World Cup in conspiracy starts, he was training individually, as you sometimes do at training camps, though it doesn't really mean anything because training alone is often a sentence put on players who are being disciplined, though once again I don't think that's true, because that's not the only reason why you train alone, but you never know, and people kind of were making a big deal out of the whole thing, so I think he was just kind of trying to put it to bed. But the other thing is, he was on United, I believe it's the United Connection. No, that's not how they would do it. United District, maybe? Yeah, so he was on the United District, another good channel to follow on Twitter if you're so obliged to find out good Manchester United news. And so they had Jan on their podcast with United Henry at United Henry. And I listened to a bit of it, and it did sound like Jan's tweets were not as confident with the Sancho stuff as him on, an actual podcast talking at length about these things. What I believe is happening now is, like I said yesterday, Dortmund is trying to get Sancho to go ahead and put in a transfer request, or not a transfer request, go ahead and put out a statement that says, I'm happy at Dortmund, I want to stay another season, to kind of put things to bed. And it's starting to sound like Jadon Sancho is not going to do that because he does not want to stay at Dortmund. He would much rather move to Manchester United. These are not Jan's words, these are my words, and what I figured from listening to most of the information that's out there. And that what will essentially happen is, the longer this goes on, Dortmund's pressure, if it doesn't amount to anything, is going to put a lot of the energy in this transfer back into United's court. Which obviously I'm hoping for, but it's starting to seem relatively certain that Sancho is not going to do that. And if he does not do that, then that means a lot when it comes to the transfer. So we'll just have to go ahead and wait and see. Still, I would not be surprised if Sancho did it, but like right at the end of the window, when he already knows the move is off, when he knows he's not getting his move, basically. So we'll just have to see what happens with that. I was talking about Willian yesterday, and they finally announced it. I basically was boggled at the fact that they waited 5 days or whatever, or it was supposed to be done 5 days ago, but they announced it today. So that could have just been sponsorship, contract stuff, and anyhow, Willian is done. We'll look at Tottenham today because, for anyone who doesn't know, they got Højbjerg through the door, and he's such a Jose Mourinho player. Captain at Southampton before he basically went on strike or did some shit. Started acting a fool and lost his place, not only as captain but in the team. But that's probably because he wanted to move and he didn't like what was going on. So what I would say on that is that Tottenham got a very adept defensive midfield player who can play the exact Jose Mourinho role that he probably would like someone like Matic to play, someone physical who can get in and just sweep up. The kind of player that is usually very understated, I might say, or I might add. But at the end of the season, I heard someone say this, but everyone knows it. At the end of the season, these are the players that you come back to, you look at them, and you put their worth into, you finally fit kind of what they've done and what they mean to the team into the fuller picture. And you usually end up finding out that they're what made everything else tick, especially the forward players and midfield. So it's a good buy for sure. So good for them. And Alphonso Davies is never going to Chelsea. That is never going to happen in a million years. I promise you that is not going to happen. You can clip this and bring it back to me if it does happen, but I very much doubt it. He is going to be the most highly regarded left winger, might I add, in the world. He's not. All right, this is definitely a hot take. Alphonso Davies is not a good left back. He's not a very good left back at all. In fact, he's not even a left back. That is not a hot take. But apparently everyone thinks he's a fucking left back. He's not a left back. He is a left winger who plays with an incredibly organized Bayern Munich team with Alaba right next to him. Both pacey as all hell and capable of making up for bad positioning And yeah, I mean that's what he is. I watched him. Watch him all the time in CONCACAF for Canada. I've watched him minorly before because I don't follow the MLS too much. I think you might find not a lot of Americans do. And he always plays left wing, and he's brilliant at it. That's why he's so good going forward. And yeah, I'm not saying he's not a great player. He's probably up there as one of the best left backs in the world, but in a system that allows him to go forward and with the ability to cover his mistakes. And that's kind of one of those things. It's kind of like with Wan-Bissaka, him going to ground all the time. It's not great. His positioning is not great, but the only reason why we don't call them mistakes is because he's able to cover for them. So take that for what you will. But yeah, that's kind of my take on it. Okay, nothing else interesting going on. Yeah, that's going to be it for today. Make sure to go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and check out the socials at _diagrams on Twitter. Yeah, that's it for me today. I will speak to you guys later. All right, bye-bye.